day. I hope you're doing well. Today I will just be going over Prog7311's PoE Part 3 and just a quick explanation and run through of what has been done since Part 2, what has changed, what has stayed the same, and so on. So if you'd remember, Part 2 I basically displayed that this application was built for TechMove to it's basically a workflow system that's based around a document, or in this case, a contract. And based off the contract status, the customer or client can either request a service or not if a contract is not active. Any other condition, and the service will not be provided. Okay, so in saying that, part 3, the only difference in terms of the application is the triple layer architecture that I have implemented, meaning that instead of having the MVC like we had previously, now we have split it into 3 layers: the front end, the API or business logic layer, as well as the data access layer. So what does this mean? So as you can see on the right side, our project structure, which is open over here, this project is our front end. You will see there are 3 controllers here and just our services to take us to the API. So these controllers are basically just our routing controllers, as well as a few error messages, as you can see here, but no actual logic was left behind here. All the logic from the MVC has been moved to the API, which is under this project techmove.api. So these controllers physically contain the logic, and please feel free to go through them. They all have their attribution and references as needed. Okay. With that being said, none of the actual functionality of the application has been changed. We obviously have our data layer here with our database and our migrations services as well. And then we have our test project down here as well. I have added 3 tests just to test all 3 layers of the architecture for the front end and the back end, as well as the data layer. Okay, now we will open up Docker. We'll start up our TechMove service. We'll just give a second for the API to initialize. Okay, let's take a look. It's up and running. There we go. Now, with that being said, I can actually open up the front end, go back to Docker. We can go to TechMove's actual client side. So, just because it has been done previously, we're going to, just because I have walked through this application in part 2, I will just go through the full functionality, not really explaining on too much since most of it has been explained in part 2, but just to show that the application is still in fact fully functioning, we will be doing that. Okay, and we'll select a country as we did previously. Let's make it interesting. Let's do Pakistan. We'll register. There we go. And we'll save the details. Lovely. Okay, we're in as this client. Now, we cannot book a service because we don't have an active contract yet, but we have to request an agreement. And this is where we actually create our contract. We'll have our service level express, and then we will upload a PDF. Beautiful. Agreement requested successfully. Client can obviously download the PDF. You still cannot book a service, and if you'll pay attention, local currency is PKR, which is Pakistan's local currency. Log in as the admin. This is a previous service from another client. You can view all of our contracts. So this is the contract we've just uploaded. You can download the PDF to view, whatever it may be. It's a checklist. Lovely. And we can now say that the contract is either active, on hold, expired, or completed. When it's active, the client is able to book services. You can view all of our clients here, search for them, and once again, our currency page, which views the live data of all currency exchange rates. Uh, yeah, everything compared to one South African rand. So it's a Pakistani rupee, that is the currency. Yes, not doing too great against the rand. Okay, can't say that about too many currencies. Anyways, test. Okay, now we can see our contract is in fact active. We can book a service. We can say from which country. So it does auto select Pakistan because that's a registered country, but choose any other country as well. And we can say this is going to go to China. Okay, what is being transported, what's a request for? We can just say, for example, grain. Not practical, but just for purposes of this project. And that is 450,000 Pakistani rupees. Okay, okay. Now we can see that service and flight has been pending. Obviously, the client can go into the flight map and view the flight here is just booked as well. This is my unique feature to the application. So I made the nodes a bit bigger. That's the only change I've made. So it just prompts the user more to actually clicking onto them, especially if there's multiple flights in the same destinations and so on. And it's easier to view the information. Okay, now we go back to staff. They can see up, there's a new request for a service, and we can say that it has departed, for example, and we can obviously also see that here. As I said, this is from a previous client. Other than that, none of the functionality has changed, just to show that everything is in fact working. The GitHub link is here. As you can see, last week was the last commit which I made, and the README has been updated as well. Yeah, other than that, nothing else is different. Do hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you.